Hey there, welcome to another weekly Savory Bite with Alpine Nutrition. Let me just get all of our recording set up here. So today I want to talk about hunger, and this comes up a lot with clients, and it's a really common question, especially when someone is first starting to practice intuitive eating. And it's this idea of like, I don't know what hunger feels like. Maybe you've been dieting off and on over the years and swinging from not eating enough to then feeling like you're eating too much and maybe even binge eating. And it could just feel really messy and hard to listen to your hunger cues. So, today, first of all, I want to just say totally normal, especially when you have a rocky relationship with food and that it can kind of feel challenging to get back in touch with those internal cues of hunger, satisfaction, and fullness. So, to answer this question of can I still be an intuitive eater if I have a hard time feeling hunger? I want to say yes, 100%. And let's talk about that hunger a little bit more. So, there are really three types of hunger as I see it in my practice. And it was this way in my personal intuitive eating journey as well. And that there's physical hunger, there's taste or mouth hunger, and there's emotional hunger. But today I just want to focus on the physical hunger. So that's the hunger where you may be more familiar with feeling like that rumbling in your stomach or kind of an empty pit in your stomach, and that's when you know, like, I better go get something to eat. You might also feel hunger in this more primal or ravenous hunger way, by getting a little lightheaded or feeling a little dizzy, hangry. This would definitely be where hangry falls in. And particularly for those of us in midlife, we're constantly in this flux of our emotional well-being, and so feeling hangry can often feel like, is this like perimenopause emotional stuff, or am I really just hungry? And so it can get a little messy there. But if you're generally feeling like, it's your tolerance to anything going on in your life is feeling pretty low, that might mean you're also hungry too. So oftentimes, when I'm working with clients, we'll use a tool called the hunger fullness scale just to kind of provide a visual of where someone might be landing with hunger, and if they're feeling more primal hunger or they're working on feeling subtle signs of hunger. So, the subtle signs of hunger definitely come with practice. And again, part of this is because culturally, we've been awarded or praised for waiting till you're absolutely hungry before you eat. And really that we're kind of entering into the realm of we're starving at that point. It's we're even more than hungry. And so, what I also wanted to bring into this context is you've heard me talk about the SAVOR strategies of healing before. And the A, the awareness part of SAVOR, this is where hunger lies, or getting to know our hunger cues lies. So, when we have this awareness, be able to get out of our heads and into our bodies, we can start to connect the dots around what does hunger feel like. So, with that physical hunger, what's the difference between subtle and primal hunger? Like I said, primal hunger can be more intense feelings in our body, both from that growling stomach, emptiness, headache, hangry, all of that. Subtle signs of hunger can be more of around, like, mentally, you're just thinking about food more. You're starting to be distracted from your task at hand, and you're starting to think about, like, I wonder what I'm going to have for lunch, or what are we going to eat for dinner tonight, or I'm really starting to think about that snack in this afternoon, or where's the closest stash of Christmas cookies. So you're really starting to think about food, and you're being distracted from whatever you're working on at the time or activity that you're doing, and you're starting to think more about food. So that's a version of a subtle sign of hunger. Another subtle signs of hunger might be yawning. It might be just kind of feeling a little low in energy, starting to feel a little tired. Again, you might not be feeling anything in your stomach per se, but you're just noticing that you're feeling more fatigued. You have less mental focus. So, how does hunger relate to fullness? This is another part B of this question that I get all the time. And you may be familiar with when you get really hungry, you're ready to eat everything under the sun. Open up the fridge, empty it in your mouth, the pantry, whatever. And you don't really care what you're eating. You just need to get fed. And that's a primal survival skill response. So, how that relates to fullness then is you can end up all of a sudden getting too full because your body is just saying, like, there is no time to like think about what we're eating, notice if I'm getting full, no mindful eating, like, just get it all in as quick as possible. So, we can easily swing from this primal space of hunger to overly full or beyond comfortable fullness. So, that's how those two relate. How does subtle hunger relate to fullness or subtle fullness? When we start eating around being subtly hungry, again, just kind of in that space of where I'm kind of starting to think about food, my interest is moving towards food and away from the task at hand. When we start eating in that place, we're one more likely to be discerning about what we're eating. So really choosing foods from a place of satisfaction and what do we really want to eat. And then two, we're more likely to slow down as we're eating, enjoy what we're eating, and from a fullness perspective, we're more likely to stop when we're satisfiedly full or comfortably full. So that's how hunger and fullness can kind of relate both on the primal side of things and in the subtle signs of hunger. I will say, and this is really, really important, be really compassionate with yourself, be really patient with yourself. If you have spent years, decades of dieting and you're having a hard time feeling subtle signs of hunger, you are not broken. You are not doing intuitive eating wrong. It just takes some time to get your to know your body again on that more intimate and kind of quiet level. So one of the practices that I often recommend for my clients is to practice eating every 3-ish hours. That's about how long it takes for your body to digest food, start using the food, metabolizing the food, and for the food to leave your stomach so that your stomach can start to tell your brain, hey, the tank's almost empty. Let's start thinking about food again. Let's go get a snack. So that's going to vary for everybody. Everybody's unique in this way, but that's why I say this like 3-ish hour space. You might consider setting a gentle alarm on your phone to kind of check in with yourselves around 3 hours, like, hey, how am I feeling in my body? Am I feeling any signs of hunger, subtle signs or ravenous signs? That 3 hours is not set in stone. If you generally feel hunger before that, please, please, please go honor that. Go have a meal, go have a snack. For those people that don't feel like you feel hunger at all, this 3 hours is just more of a guidepost, some place to start as you're exploring your hunger and noticing how it shows up in your body. So, practice, not perfection, is the key here. It's really important. And I hope that's helpful. As always, you can drop comments, questions, ask for more details about this by going over to my website, alpinenutrition.org, and clicking on the contact link at the top. And you can send me contact questions that way, and we can continue the conversation offline. I hope that's helpful. I hope you have a really great rest of your week, savoring food and your body. Take care.